6:02. There are 6 members present, so I'm opening this, the July 20th, 2021 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. Oh, wait, somebody else wants in. So it must be time to get rid of that, thanks so much. And now let's share the screen. And here we are. So let us start with, no, we'll do this slightly out of order because we should reorg the board first. So even before we do that, welcome to our returning member Joe, to our after a delay returning member Scott, and to Mitch, who isn't here tonight, but I'll bet most people know him, at least by sight by now. Welcome, we're glad to be at full strength again. Let's reorganize, shall we? So let's start with nominations for chair.
I'll nominate Peter Crane for chair and Melissa for co-chair.
Look at the facial expression.
Well,
don't you have to separate? Don't you have to separate those? It's gonna go that way anyways, so it
so
doesn't
I'm gonna
matter.
ask, even though we don't have a second, no, I'm gonna second for discussion. Melissa, dare I ask what that reaction was for?
No, I don't know. It's what it is now, so I don't know why.
You did a great job that day that you
Thank
ran
you.
the meeting when Peter was gone. You did a superb job. You really did.
Thank you.
Even Jared will agree with me.
So is that the
I
motion?
like how
at
it's
this
like
point?
even,
Is
Jared.
that a motion?
Yeah,
Now
like
it's
it's hard
discussion.
on
Now it's on discussion, so.
Ready
But
for
if you
a-
don't want to do it, just say no, you don't want to.
No, that's fine. It's just a natural reaction.
That's what I was afraid you were really saying to him.
No,
I was
I'm
like,
good. It's
You
good.
ready for a second yet?
I
Peter
seconded for discussion.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't want to take action yet. I do want to see if other people are interested in either chair or vice/co-chairmanship, and if there are any nominations. I said it last time, I'll repeat it. Although I'm chair this time, there is no right to continue chairmanship, and I'm thrilled to have Melissa as vice last year and this year.
Face be damned. Yeah, sorry.
No other discussion? All right, we will do a roll call because we're on Zoom. So I'll do it this direction. Delaquila,
Aye.
Landgren,
Aye.
Gentilucci, yes, I'll remember.
Aye.
Danza,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Crane, aye. All right, we're reorganized, which is to say, it's just
It's
like
just
it
the
was
same.
before.
It's reorganized, not deorganized.
Meeting minutes from July 6.
Motion to accept as written.
Second.
Comments, questions? Roll call, Delaquila.
Abstain.
Thank you.
I have to abstain. I wasn't part of it.
Yes, you do.
Gentilucci, aye.
Dan's eye.
Black eye.
Crane eye. Awesome. Oh, that was a terrible, terrible mistake.
My
'Cause
face.
I closed the agenda, not the minutes.
Oh no.
Okay, so we are looking for an application submission from Mr. Takala for 138 Kenwood Drive.
I did invite the engineer to attend, but I didn't hear back from him,
All right.
and I didn't see him.
Hi,
Who's
Glenn
the engineer?
Kowalski is here for this meeting.
Perfect.
Oh, fantastic. Glenn, you say?
Glenn Kowalski, yes. The first wetland consultant the town of Rutland ever hired back 20 years ago, looked at Blair's, Jillian Valtruva's wetland lines for three subdivisions, actually.
My goodness.
I remember that,
Many
Glenn.
years ago, before your times, probably.
Yes, well before my time. I don't know if it's before Joe's time.
No, I remember that one.
Yeah. Alrighty, so if you don't mind giving us a brief overview, please.
Thank you. This did go through DCR. We do have exhibits within the notice of intent showing that.
Mhm.
It's a buffer zone work, not within the 200-foot riverfront area. It's a single house, and you can, if you see it on your plans, I'm not sure if you have them, because I have 3 other hearings, I could not be there, and the other 2 is going for Sturbridge.
So is this
And
lot 8 or lot
in
9?
Paxton too. It's on the notice of intent.
Says
I'm
lot 9.
opening it up right now, because we would call it, no. It is lot 9, the
Lot
closest
9,
one,
okay.
where you just see a little bit of grading in that 100-foot buffer zone,
It's this
if
one.
you're looking at the plan.
Yes, we are. So you've got that really
Okay.
long driveway. Is this a common driveway?
No, that's the house lot.
The lot.
Oh,
line
this is a
back.
road right here, isn't it? Okay. Where is it?
The
It's a
long
driveway.
coming off of, you've got it.
Okay, fine, thanks.
I thought that we maybe would set up a site inspection to look at the wetland line, if that was is what you normally do.
In fact, that is.
Otherwise, again, it's just a grading project in the buffer zone. And I did ask Mr. McNeil, he's on Nantucket, but he started this when he was back here, he's the engineer out there now for the town, that he give me a clearer plan of the delineation, so that we could look potentially with either an agent of yours or with members, as DCR was relying and does rely, as you're familiar, on the commission approving the wetland line, not so much them. So they wrote that, I put it in the notice of intent, and if we walk that MHW, BBW line, then potentially you could agree on that if you chose, or we could file an NRED to have you potentially look at that whole line, or an RDA, or we, at this one moment, we could just look at the wetland line that affects us, which is all the way from the road and at the base of our
Yeah, that's
hill.
this. Yeah, we're
There's a
looking at
wetland
the
there.
plan. I see the line right here. I can see there's not a lot of grading within the 100, but there
No.
is some. And what is this, 2 to 1?
Yep.
Down this whole slope, roughly?
We build 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, no steeper than 2 to 1 under the old NRCS, used to be old SCS. So I don't, because I had to leave the other meeting, it was kind of loud down there. I don't have my scale on me. I can run
That's-
down to the office.
That's
and
okay.
get
It's
it,
not,
but
it's
it
not
would be
important.
no steeper than 2 to 1.
Okay, it's not important for this meeting. This is just the submission. We'll get more into details at the hearing, which I assume we will
I'll write a
schedule for
note
next
here and
month.
make sure I have that for you after any kind of continuance.
So, we will definitely want to walk this line. I don't see any flag markers on this plan. Any wetland flag markers?
The other plan that was attached to this had the MHW from the road all the way perpendicular with the road, then it hooks to the, I would call that west. Let me see, what is it, west here? Pike, what's south here? Yeah. Okay, so then
this
it
is
hooks,
9
it
here.
runs from north to south, the wetland line from the road, and then it hooks to the west behind, and where this wetland is would be west of, on the western side of the, on the northern, it's on the southern side of the hill, and the stream system runs west. So that is on a secondary plan, and I told Mr. McNeil to get me a scaled plan, and it is in your file, to get me a plan that the commission can read, the BBW flag, each flag number, so instead of having it on a 2x3, which is nearly impossible to read, I did tell him I need this thing at a 40 scale of something that each flag is identifiable, and we would take that in the woods and review that wetland line, which
Okay.
then is extrapolated to this 100-foot buffer zone on the plan.
Right, so are these?
You have it, but it's just not that clear. And all you have to do, and I'm sorry I haven't been in front of you for years, is as Mr. McNeil is not getting off his duff to get it to me, I'm going to just tell him that the commission requires it,
Yeah,
whether it's so or not, because I have 56 projects going on now. I got hearings in Egremont next week, and today we're working on, who cares, McCullum Highway at Logan Airport. So what I need is my engineers to respond, and in this case, I didn't get the scale plan I need that goes along with this, so you can look at the wetland line. But if any site inspection you choose to set up, we will have that plan that does relate to this wetland line in this the buffer zone you're looking at.
Right, okay. So what is, let's talk with is the commission interested in the sidewalk?
Definitely.
And yes, we see several heads nodding yes, good, okay. So are we interested, no, let me make a statement instead of a question. I'm personally, and therefore I'm gonna say the commission is interested in the 100-foot that runs along the side of the property. Do we
Thank you.
are we interested in walking the 200 line or going all the way back to the DCR based?
No.
No, okay.
Glenn, I got a quick question for you, Joe Delaquila. Is this still gonna be done by Rob? Is this all gonna be, McNeil Engineering?
Yes, the Perkin deeds, he flew in to go do these Perkin deeds. He did the plan design. So yes, this is Mr. McNeil's plan.
Okay, so you're just standing in for him at this point?
No, I'm the wetland consultant that delineated the whole project. I delineated it back about 8 or 9 years ago. He flew out, I delineated it again. Tom Fancy out of Spencer picked up the wetland flags, and I normally represent my clients, especially when it's just a buffer zone project with grading.
Right, okay, I just want to know who the principal is that we're dealing with.
Glenn Kravosky from EBT Environmental Consultants, Inc.
Okay, so will we get a revised drawing saying,
No, you'll get a second drawing, which I did give to you, but it's on a 2x3. It's in your file.
no, but I'm
And
seeing
it shows
McNeil
the
Engineering on the
riverfront-
drawing.
Excuse me?
I see McNeil Engineering on the drawing.
Right, this is the septic
Mhm.
plan, this is not the,
That's not the other drawing he's talking about.
All right,
right, the other drawing
There's
is,
another drawing in your file.
yeah, but
There's
this one
another
is,
plan in your file.
this one is very unreadable.
yeah, well, it's just a lot of information.
That's exactly what I told Mr. McNeil. I said, reduce the scale, make it readable for the board so they can see the line.
Yep.
And when I get off this phone and get finished with the 3 over in Sturbridge, I'll be sending him a message reiterating, I need the plan ASAP.
Great,
It's not a big thing. It's already in his CAD file. It's just a matter of reducing the scale and cutting it up into a couple of plans,
right,
a match line. Mm-hmm.
okay, so, when would the commission like to do a site walk? Oh, my God, it's the 20th of July.
I have site inspections on this Saturday already going on, but any time
Well, we
outside
could
of
use,
this week and this Saturday.
how about the 31st?
Sure.
Is that okay
Thank you
with
very
everybody?
much. 7:31. Yep.
So this is,
10 a.m.?
what's that?
Do you want to do 10 a.m.?
Yeah, 10 a.m.?
Yes, sir. And ma'am.
Meet where?
I have it down. It'll be transferred to my book, to my computer. And we'll be there, and we will, and thank you, that gives me plenty of time to try this, I apologize, plan that you can read out of Mr. McNeil.
That's fine. Let me see if, I'm just looking for a decent locus to make sure that is there a locus on this plan? There ought to be. There has to be a locus
Yeah,
there somewhere.
probably down here.
Well, if you're looking at the notice of intent, I
There.
actually, in the notice, there's several exhibits. And one of those exhibits, is exhibit number, it should be 3. And that exhibit gives you the locus on an assessor's map or Oliver GIS. I'm flipping to it now.
That's
and,
okay. We've
that will,
got a good
easily
enough,
show you.
we have a good enough locus now, so we'll just meet on Kenwood at the end of the driveway.
Kenwood Drive, sure, yes, thank you, sir. There's a big field, there's a field there at, where, if you're looking at the locus 3A, Walnut Street goes up, Kenwood is to your left. This lot is right at the corner. I will be sitting at the corner of Walnut and Kenwood, this will be called Kenwood Drive. We're
All
on
right.
Kenwood Court with this lot. So we will sit at the corner of Kenwood Court and Kenwood Drive, and we'll be there early, and then we can just, if the field's mowed, we can drive in or walk across the field to this far end, southern end, and go into the woods, and we'll be down at that BVW.
All right. Questions or comments from the commission? All right,
I'm not sure if you were talking to me, I couldn't.
No, I was asking if anybody else had questions besides me talking all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I talk a lot.
Me too. Thank you.
Alrighty. So, oh wait, let me add a little travel time and make sure that that's perfect. All right. So we'll see you Saturday the 31st at 10 o'clock
And then a hearing on the 3rd.
We,
and a hearing on the 3rd. You're right. It should be. Yep.
and here it's on the 3rd. I have them both written down, and thank you again, and I'll probably get a notice as to, well, we'll look at your agenda, obviously, ahead of time, so
Right.
on the 3rd, 7883 PH, continue. Thank you for that, and I appreciate your time.
Do we have the
Rutland.
checks? Perfect. And I think we're good to go once we get that other plan.
I will work on that right now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Have a
Again.
great evening.
You too. Thank you very much. Have a
Alrighty, so that should be that one, and now we go back to the agenda. Oh, look! It's not technically a hearing, but let's have a discussion about the request for determination of applicability for Brian and Deborah Jocelyn at 12 Fernwood Drive. No, that's the right one.
Correct.
So we had a discussion about this at the last meeting, and commission agreed that an RDA is fine for this, for the work that's being done. We've seen it, it's an addition, what is it, 12 by 12?
No, it's 22 by 22.
22 by 22.
Our
This is
deck
why you
was
never
12
go by
feet. Well,
line
our
number.
deck was 12 feet out, and it's going 10 feet further, so maybe that's where you have
Sure.
the 12.
Sure.
It was very nice of you.
You're looking favorably tonight, aren't you? So,
Guys, we're not gonna do it.
questions or comments from the commission?
There is wetlands over there.
They
Yeah.
are, and the 100 line is effectively at the edge of the house where the addition is beginning. So all of the addition is within the 100, but none of it's in the 50,
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, 78 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
something like that.
Who delineated the wetland?
I think we were just looking at aerials.
Yeah, we were doing the DEP maps.
Oh, okay.
So it's all approximation that we understand.
Yeah. Well, the
But-
only reason
yeah.
I'm saying is if you looked at it today, you know, based on the rainfall and it's gotten soggier back there.
It
I
has.
don't know
Yeah, I think
I
the-
just don't want to throw a monkey wrench in their works yet.
There has not been a formal delineation, and we're okay with that because we believe the wetlands are going to be far enough away, and this work won't impact the wetlands with what they're doing, so.
even if it was at the closest point it could have, I think it was still going to be over 50 feet.
Yeah.
So
I'm good.
I think
Anything
just
else?
putting erosion controls in, call it a day.
We talked about that before,
Yep.
didn't we?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, were you looking at wattles and just wattles?
I think wattles would be fine.
Wattles are good.
I would think that would be.
Yeah. So just wattles.
Straw,
and-
not hay. That's the.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. Rock, not
I'll open to the public. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing no hands. Hearing no questions, we'll take a motion.
Motion to issue a negative determination with the condition of installing erosion controls prior to construction.
A second.
Was that stuff?
I didn't say anything, Joe.
Joe,
I said second.
you said second. Tamika, you figure it out.
I'll toss a coin.
That always
Skip said
happens.
something too, so.
They both said
Keep me
second.
on my toes.
Roll call, Delaquilla.
Aye.
Aye.
No, name.
Langren, aye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Danza, aye.
Hawkeye.
Crane, aye. See, that way I don't have to remember everybody's name. It's
That's
even
it.
easier.
Who's sitting to my
What if
right?
I
We're
forget
done,
to
we'll have the
vote?
paperwork
I was like,
out.
we keep skipping over you. Will you
That's
just
fine.
confirm for me which number it is? Is it if it's, you know,
Oh, yeah,
negative
yeah, I'll look it
termination
now,
for
yep.
Tamika, what's the
Yeah.
process to get all the paperwork finished and to them?
I have everything I need to finish it, and when I'm done, I'll email it to you,
Okay.
and then you're all set. You just keep your copy, and then the other copy goes to the DEP. And you're good to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
3, right?
So you can start tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
that'd be nice.
Thank
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Now, I believe that we are going to open a hearing for the notice of intent for James Harity at 151 Turkey Hill Road. And if I've done this right, and there are no guarantees, then this is the correct plan, am I right?
Looks right to me.
There we go. So as we said before, well, I'll let you introduce it again. I'll let you do your spiel.
All right, thank you, Peter. So this is 151 Turkey Hill, and to the right of that is 153 Turkey Hill. And I have a building permit already for this property. But I submitted this plan because I changed the location of the field
Mhm.
to make it just fit better with the lot. At 153 next door, I was before you guys a few weeks ago, and there's a driveway that was approved with an order of conditions that pretty much hugs that property line in between 151 and 153.
Mhm.
And so this field now is about, I'm gonna call it 20% in the 100-foot buffer. And the driveway that was approved is even closer to the wetland. So there is a kind of a driveway crossing in between this field and the buffer zone.
But that's on 153.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So would we expect to see an updated,
No, why would you?
well, he said he's moving it, but if it's not, well, if it's not
Oh,
a
he's moving
significant.
this.
No,
He's not moving
This,
it.
the other one's done.
The other one's not.
Right.
He's not changing any of that.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstand it. Okay, so,
This is the change, right, Jim?
right,
Yes, yes, it is. This is the revised plan.
so it's just the septic and some grading in the 100.
Yep.
I remember there's another 100 back, much further back behind the house and beyond the well, but that's not an area of impact.
It's not, no.
So, okay.
Has this one already been roughed in with the trees cleared? Do you know?
No, 153 was cleared,
Okay,
and so I haven't cleared anything in this area
Okay.
until I get approval from you guys.
alright.
Is Turkey Hill Road scenic? A scenic road by our bylaw? I don't remember any. Okay.
Just Irish.
So then breaking this stone wall isn't gonna be an issue then?
Well, he's only breaking it for what? Driveway, right?
Yeah.
And it's not really it's kind of just a conglomeration of rocks that they threw together.
Yeah. It's not jurisdictional to Concom, so don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to suggest that it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's clearly not my problem. So I'm happy to let somebody else take care of that if there is anything. Anything else from the commission? Questions or comments from the public? What conditions, what special conditions should we consider?
I would say what we've done for the other ones for Turkey Hill, which was the best practices for invasives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was anything else except when it was in the 20.
Erosion, I imagine it would be erosion and the Jared, what's your standard on this one?
Silt fence and straw wattles.
That's the
Yes. Yeah, I think that'd be appropriate here, just because of the
Well, it's showing it.
close. Oh yeah, yeah.
It's on the drawing.
And
He's
it's
showing erosion controls. Is he saying what he's using?
not
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, he did.
What was it on
Straw,
there?
12-inch straw wattle.
Oh yeah, there it is.
That's at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah. So we'd want to see that with the silt fence as well.
With the silt fence.
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate here.
Okay. I don't think we have anything else interestingly jurisdictional, but
We do have a DEP number with no comments.
great.
There's no DEP number?
No,
There
is. There
is
with
a
no
number.
comments.
Oh, okay.
They normally send those to me too. I wonder why I didn't get that one.
It came in like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago. I think it came in like the
Oh,
day
maybe
after
it's
the
the
last
noise of
meeting.
the last meeting.
Yeah, so it
okay.
probably
You're
got
on
caught
it.
up.
This
Says
is
your
why I have
email
someone
right
else take
there.
care of you.
On 7/7. Oh, that was a
Oh
while
yeah, it was
ago.
the day after. Yeah, I was like, I knew it was right after the last one.
Okay, is there any reason not to close this hearing?
No, I think so.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor? Well,
Langer and I.
Gentilucci, aye.
Danza, aye.
Crane eye, okay.
We'll get the hang of it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I know, I'm changing the rules. I
Someday.
get it. But you see, I can't see all your names here, so I can't go down the list. Maybe I can talk the cable committee into putting signs up to make the same signs for conservation.
It feels special.
Motion to issue the order of conditions with the special conditions as discussed. For
Second.
151 Turkey Hill. Sorry. I forgot it.
Great, roll call.
Delacour, aye.
Langer and I.
Gentilucci, aye.
Danza, aye.
Crane eye. Fantastic. So we will get those done and in the mail, and as soon as Tamika tells me they're done, I'll move the building permit along.
Okay, sounds good.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you inspect the silt fence after it's installed before any work starts?
Yes. It
Yeah,
is in
okay.
our standard
We'll
conditions.
do, yes, we'll do that. We'll do that, but we won't set up a special site visit for it.
Yeah, just send an email to Tamika and she'll ping us.
Okay.
And then we'll one-on-one, just go out and take a
Yeah.
quick look at it.
I live right there, so
Yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
easy.
Yeah.
It's easy for you.
Just
Yeah.
roll down the hill.
Yeah, because the silt fence is going in at 153 tomorrow, so I'll shoot Tamika an email and see if I could get you out there anytime after noon time tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. So the refreshments are at your house?
Sounds good.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, we're cruising tonight. Don't worry, I know that we have a couple things going to hold us up.
Always does.
All right, so we've done the hearings, no extra votes. We've done the reorg, wetland concern 175 Barre Paxton Road. All right. And unless I'm mistaken, that's this one. It is, but it's not repainting. Thank you. Where did we leave this last time? We were going to.
I sent a letter to the homeowner, and I believe this is Sean here.
Yes, it is.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. I did receive the letter. That's why I'm here.
Thank you for coming.
So if this were going to paint properly, here, let me just try and do a reload and see if that makes it come back again. Come on. Oh,
It was a valiant effort.
I should have ought to known.
Just
You know
you
what? Let me just go
pasture.
back to this one instead. All right, here we go. You've been done.
That looks better.
Holy cow. All right, that at least looks like yours. So, we received a notice that there was filling and stuff going on your property. We pull up this map and we say, I don't see wetlands on your property, I see them sort of near. And Conservation Commission has jurisdiction to things that occur within 100 feet of wetlands. And if again, this is not, so if I sort of draw this to here as the absolute closest point, back here in this corner, it's about 20, we would have jurisdiction on the order of 25 feet from here.
I think we also determined that it connected from the road down to there too, though. That was the other
It
problem.
looked like,
Yeah.
there's a channel or whatever.
Yeah. Because there's a culvert under the road.
Across here, and then
Yes.
it runs kind of here.
Mhm.
So it's really along this whole edge then.
Yeah.
So our whole concern is let's make sure stuff doesn't get into wetlands. So if you don't mind just doing a brief description of the work that's been going on there so we can get an idea of what's happening.
First off, I'd like to say hello, good evening to everyone. And then I'd like to start by asking if I can get a copy of the complaint and the complainant's name. Because I've been having a problem with my neighbor. They've been complaining about my kids were roasting marshmallows over a patio grill. They called the fire department. The fire department's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you guys are coming? They call the fire department all the time. It's just, it's gonna be a burden.
Right.
And now this. There
So,
was no filling, no filling, no work on the wetlands or anything. What I was doing was, it's like it's not a paved parking area, but it's a parking area
yeah, you have
on
a
my property.
flat area,
Right,
wouldn't you?
right, flat area
put
near
in
the road.
crushed stone or something just to,
And bulldozer was just, grading it out.
okay.
That's it. That's why I was like, when I saw the notice, I was like, what? And the lady was out there watching. No wave to her, because it's
Is this up here?
It's grading,
Or is it back here? I'm just trying to get a picture
where
of.
it is.
Yeah.
I could
Right out.
also zoom in.
Right,
Sorry.
right in this area. Right in the front of the property, right where that, because there's another driveway. I mean, if you go there, there's another driveway that's actually paved. That was there before I even bought the house. And so was this. I'm just grading it out because there was bumps.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was surprised when I was surprised, but I wasn't because she was out there. But yeah, there was no wetlands filled, disturbed, or anything. And I spoke to the state previously just to see if there's any wetlands, and they didn't say it was wetlands. They called it storm drainage runoff, is what they call it. And they have a
Oh yeah, this is that
Cut in the
connection that we saw
pavement.
right here, isn't
Right.
it?
Mm-hmm.
they have a cutout in the pavement so the stuff drains down. They said there's no wetlands there on my property. It's just it's storm drainage runoff.
Is this the driveway right here? Is this?
Actually, it does go all the way around, pretty
Yeah,
much.
Well, you were showing it, you were
That's
indicating down here. But
Yeah,
if you're
that's
up
where it
here,
is.
I mean, it makes an impact as to where we are.
I can't really tell by this.
Peter,
There's
can you
a
bring
road
up
that
like
comes
the
in. Actually,
Google Earth or something on that? So
Let
we
me see if I
yeah,
can
this.
turn off some
So
of
you
the.
can probably
some of
pull
the
it.
may show us the better detail.
I have it on my phone. I can pull it up on my phone. I don't know if you can pull it up there.
Let's pull it up.
Give him half a minute. As long as.
There, makes it a little easier to see
I
it.
see it.
There was actually
Yeah, you can see it better than that.
Yeah, see,
that borders
Yeah, it
the,
comes right around.
the
see
property.
right here?
Yep.
There's-
And now if the
I don't know, I
the
can't
culvert
see
and
that.
crossing is over
This-
here.
There's a state. It used to be. I don't know if anyone's.
He's,
Yeah, well,
it looks to me like he's
you
far
better-
enough away.
There's it's the old state road that borders my property.
Yeah.
Goes all the way around. dead center indication, but that's over here, the state road that goes.
Mhm.
That's
Like,
That's
the connection.
That's probably
That's
why
what
you're
I'm
seeing that connection is just running right down that road.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, it looks like this whole area could have been
Mhm.
that road that continues,
Right, it's the old state highway.
whatever they wanna call
That's
it.
what that little strip was
Yes.
that no one
Yeah.
owns.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes all the way to that strip mall, they
Mhm.
called it, they call it over on 122. It's a daycare center now or something.
Okay, so
It goes all to
if
that.
you're up, well, let's just take a fast measurement. So if you were up here, and let's just pretend that this were something that's still over 100 feet.
Yeah. So there's no jurisdiction.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest, unless the committee objects, that there has been no jurisdictional work.
Yeah.
I think a ride by, just for a giggle.
Hmm?
I think a visual would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I
take-
mean, I don't think it's not a big deal, but just that really covers it. I mean, that's a real quick ride by.
You wanna go right now, you can hop in my truck and we'll sit outside, and I'll drive you back.
No,
Is there something that you're looking to do immediately? Is there some
No.
additional?
he's not doing anything.
Well, he was
I'm
saying
not
he
doing
just, he
anything.
just regraded what was
I'm
there.
just
Yeah,
grading,
you're
I
already-
just graded, so I
Yeah.
can park.
Yeah, you're
And-
done.
And it's all
Yeah, I'm
done.
not building anything.
He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing anything. He's
Yeah,
just,
so
Yeah, it's just unstable right now, so
at
it
this,
is.
at this point, I would say, yeah, we take a ride by,
Yeah.
okay?
a visual and that covers all.
That
Bounds.
makes
We would
sense.
just
Okay.
follow up with a letter to you saying we
Yeah.
have jurisdiction or we don't.
Right.
And chances are we don't.
Yeah, you can knock on the door, I might have coffee on.
No, we'll put it in writing.
You could be my new best friend then.
You want it in writing, I mean,
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
however it works,
It-
I mean, I don't know how
yeah,
it works.
it's-
but, yeah, at this point.
All I know is I'm not doing anything with the lot.
I don't see.
Right,
any
but
reason
the
for
thing
it.
is,
You're-
it's
you're-
not, it's not,
there is any
but it's not
wetlands.
technically wetlands. It's the distance from them.
Right, it's how close you are to the how
That's-
close the work is to the wetlands.
Right.
That's really where it
It's
gets.
that
There
100
was really
foot.
no work.
Right.
There was no work performed, it's just,
So
No.
work is any earth disturbance,
Even grading.
even
Yeah,
grading.
even grading, if you
Grading.
stuck a shovel in the ground,
That's what I'm saying. It's much easier to put an eye on it.
technically.
So any alteration of that 100
Yeah.
feet is jurisdictional
If
if
you
it
don't plan a
is.
road,
Just leveling it out is-
Yep.
Like the old days,
Yeah.
technically.
Take a ride
Yeah.
Although would that, I'm just wondering, would that fall under any sort of like exemptions for general maintenance or anything like that?
Not if he's changing elevations.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
That's why I think the visual.
Yeah.
Just I don't think there's a plan,
Yeah,
but
so I think the only question is, do we wanna do this as a group, or do we wanna, or just have individuals? I'll let the commission.
Do you mind
decide.
us just stopping? I know it's like
Oh,
right on
I-
the road, so just
I don't
stopping
have
at the
a
end of the
problem with it, no.
driveway.
you can't roll down the
you
hill.
come in.
No
Just two
promises.
or something, so I know it's
Yeah.
you guys, not
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
trespassing around.
Oh, no, we'll knock on the door
Yeah, that's fine.
before we take a look around.
Yeah,
by.
that's
So do we
fine.
have, do we even need to go as a group? I mean,
No.
I don't think we need to go as a group, I just
No.
wanted to offer,
Yeah.
however the commission wants to do it, I'm happy to
Yeah,
support
I'm
that.
fine with that.
yeah, 'cause I don't see any urgency or anything.
Yeah.
So once you guys
I'll
do
go. I'll
the-
pick. I can't do anything tomorrow, but I'll grab him Thursday. I have
We
some
should
free
probably make
time.
an official
Okay.
So
determination.
sometime Thursday morning.
Okay, so it'd be an
Alright.
official.
Because he's right down the street from me. I'll grab him
Okay.
and make him buy me coffee. And just, I think it covers better.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you,
Yep.
whatever the board decides, that's fine.
Yeah. So, to your other question about getting a copy of it, you have to go, there's a process called open records request.
I know.
And you
Is
have
there
to
a
go-
way I can get the name of the person?
I don't have it handy.
They must know the complaint, because if there's no complaint, it's null and void.
So Sean, all you have to
Correct.
do is, if you go to the town's website and you go to the town clerk's page, there's a form that says public records request.
Okay.
It's really easy, you just send it to them, and
Okay.
then that way we can release the information, cause it's technically public record. So
Right.
it's
No,
really
no,
easy
I-
to do, it's not gonna cost you anything. or-
Right, we're not trying to be obstructive, but we have processes we have
Yeah.
to follow also.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with it.
and you have my email address as well from that letter, so if you need to
Oh,
reach
okay.
me via email, you can do that too.
Okay, that's fine, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we'll carry this over, we'll collectively report next time and
Okay.
dispose
Yeah,
of it in the
no,
way
we-
we think is best.
Yeah, and we just follow it up and writing to them in the letter.
And thank you for coming in.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Thanks for letting me know, 'cause I didn't know anything about it. I got the letter. I was like, ah, not another hassle.
Nice done.
Alrighty. I think we're set. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to the agenda. Oh! 101 and 103 Glenwood Road. My favorites.
Careful, careful.
So, before we go anywhere on this, I have to say, the last meeting, I called Bobo a name, and it was not proper, it was not professional. It wasn't right for me to do it. I offer no excuses. All I can do is say, I'm sorry, and I'll try to make sure it doesn't happen again. So I apologize, Bobo. And I won't say the word this time. Having said that, Mark Elbag and I are exchanging voicemails about this property, and I haven't gotten any information from him yet, so I have nothing to share on this right now.
Peter, I would just say if you have access to the Concom email, I forwarded an email to that inbox that he sent to me that just gave kind of a basic overview of what he remembers from back then. He did say that he's going through his records to try to find the actual hard copies because he does believe that delineation was done. He also thought that they submitted a notice of intent, but I don't see any record of that.
I don't see records
so.
of it either. So
We should, DEP should, right on the DEP website.
Well,
Yeah,
unless
but
it was
it's
a
not that
lot
old.
number. Yeah, unless it was like a weird lot number. It wasn't named because we looked through that, but
No.
Oh, all right, because you can go back because
yeah,
it was
so that,
split
yeah,
off.
we looked. Yeah,
Tamika, I'm
we
on
looked, yep.
the site and I don't see it.
On the Concom email?
I took, well, is it
Conservation?
part of this week's?
Yes, I sent it a couple days ago. I didn't upload it to the drive. I just forwarded it from my email to conservation email
Oh,
address.
well, I can get that.
Yeah, and I also checked our
Did-
records, Joe,
did
because
you
this
happen
was
to look
built.
up 105 Glenwood?
we looked at everything from that time period.
Because there is an order of conditions on 105.
Right.
Right, but not these two, because this was during my time, so I looked back through all of my records, and I don't have any orders of conditions issued.
Yeah, we did 105.
We did 105.
Way back, yeah.
All right, Tamika, I don't see it in, oh, no, I'm in conservation. Oh, maybe it's another, hold on. Nope, no, that's stupid, my analytics.
And when 105 was done, it was questionable whether a notice
says-
of intent was
It
even
says from last
necessary.
week, Tamika
Yeah, because it
Murphy
was drainage
was
outside
sent
the
from
rail
me,
trail.
Yeah, because
and the subject is Glenwood Road.
Oh, that's
Do you see it? Okay. I
there
apologize,
was
I
a
thought I
question
sent it
there.
this week.
whether it was road drainage or not.
Right.
If it was just,
Coming out.
I have a pen. I didn't bring my notebook.
this. Bring it over here. I flew through my old paper files for the order that was filed for the lot next door. Contained within that filing. Filed for the lot, does he mean for his lot that he
I
did?
think he means for 105.
Okay.
105, Glenwood, that's.
Yeah, so 105, yes, he certainly did in an OI.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, but I don't know that he would have seen, well, when he looked, these houses were already built, weren't they?
no,
They came second.
no,
Did they?
105 was the first one built.
All right. So when you,
But that was the only one that we had an NOI on, and that, that Mark had submitted the paperwork on that.
see, but even if it had been delineated, I don't think it would show it on his plans, because I think it's too far away. Because 105, there's that strip of land
Right.
between 103
That
and
goes in the
105.
back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's driveway to the back.
Right, but
Yeah.
Right.
going towards the back, if there was something flowing back there that goes across the rail trail, because
Well,
where,
yeah.
where we're having the problems on the other side of the rail trail.
Mm-hmm.
And that lot is just as deep as the others.
So Tamika, can I task you with finding 105 Glenwood's filing, or at least the maps? We know it'll only be paper.
I was gonna say, yeah, it would only be paper. Yeah, I'll have to
You
search
can get it
the
electronically
attic.
out of DEP.
How would you do that?
Not the plans. They don't upload anything. They just have the info. Applicant etc.
Yeah, they don't even, I haven't
They
seen a
give
whole
you
NOI
nothing.
from
No,
them.
Go to,
they don't give you.
the deeds.
Registry of Deeds.
The plan's not recorded.
Yeah.
Plans aren't
The
recorded.
plan-
Just the order.
Only the NOIs are
Sometimes the
recorded.
plans are,
I can.
especially when you do an NOI.
Mm-mm.
No.
Unless
usually-
it's a
Orders.
subdivision.
Cause
That's
I'm-
the only time, only definitive
'Cause
subdivision
mine's
plans.
all on here.
Used to.
We did all of that,
Mine
yours is all on
mine is all
there.
on there. They maybe do it for individuals.
Maybe.
It's the same time frame.
So we can at least get some idea if he did anything when he was looking at 105. Okay.
The residents at 101 and 103 indicated they were joining us tonight, and I think I saw one of them on Zoom.
Is anyone from 101 or 103 Glenwood online?
Yes. Hi, my name's Jason Carroll. I'm the owner of 101.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
Hi, his wife Vicky Carroll is here too.
Hi, Vicky.
Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
We weren't able to make it in person, so this is the alternative.
Right, so we're still in research land in terms of figuring out what happened with this property in the past. We hesitate to push this too hard because if any, how do I say this? If the commission were to decide that something needed to happen, it would fall on you guys as the current landowners,
Which we don't want.
which we frankly don't want. And
Can
I bet
ask-
you don't either.
Correct, right.
Right. Can I ask a question? When we were purchasing the house, we inquired about all of this, and we're told that there were no wetlands here, by the builder and by someone on the Conservation Commission. Because it was wet here when they were building, and I was concerned about it, and I inquired about it to the builder as well as the Conservation Commissioner, Commission, and I spoke with someone in the building department as well, and they all told me that there were no wetlands here.
I don't suppose there's any possibility at all you remember who you spoke to from the commission.
I can't. I have an email that I wrote to, I think it was my real estate attorney at the time, that said that I had spoke to someone. I don't remember the name. I was trying to find it while we were doing the meeting, but I spoke with someone and they said that what I was told is that the maps show that it's wetlands, but sometimes there's low spots on the map and they appear to be wet, but they're not always accurate. That's what I was told.
That is exactly correct. These are, the maps that we use are DEP's approximation of wetlands. And they do sometimes have false positives. There are areas that they mark as wetlands that are not. And so before building takes place, if the DEP has it marked, they're supposed to go out and show that there is or is not, and prepare a report for the building permit that says that there aren't any. Unfortunately, this is before we did anything electronic, which means that we'd have to get through the building commissioner's files to see if anything was put in at the time.
I could ask Lynn.
What's that?
I could ask Lynn Miller, because she would have access to that
Okay.
information. She's good with stuff like that. See if there's anything.
It would be
in the
good
building
to know
permit.
if there's an actual paper trail that says that there were no wetlands.
Lynn would,
And again,
Lynn would have that.
that is entirely possible that when I was wandering up Glenwood and I saw the water flowing out of a pipe and I started to ask questions and then I looked at the map, I became concerned. I don't know that there are wetlands, and I try to make that clear every step of the way too. That we don't know that there are wetlands, or that there were wetlands at that time of construction.
Right.
And so we're trying to get through some history to make sure that that the commission at least understands what was really there.
Right.
And as I also, go ahead.
Sorry. We came into the house as it was already built here. Everything was done aside from you know, the finished landscaping and some of the interior stuff. I mean, everything was like pretty much done when we put our offer in, so I have no idea what it looked like prior to the house being built. So I wish I did, you know. I was trying to ask my neighbor who was here a few years prior to us, and I mean, he doesn't really recall exactly how it was, so I wish I knew more in regards to that, but I can't really speak on it. So.
Right, so we're also trying to get whatever the builder can give us for information. Ideally, the builder has some paperwork that describes what was done, but, and as I also said, we don't want to start any sort of enforcement action, because that just comes back on you. And
Right.
and I
Who
hate
was
to
the
say,
builder again?
Bobo,
So it's done under what, Greystone?
I don't know.
Who did you buy the house from?
Yes, yeah, it was Greenstone Development, I think, yeah.
Greenstone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wanna use that when you talk to Lynn?
Okay. Greenstone Development.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because there were, as I recall, no formal conversations between Greenstone and the Conservation Commission
Yeah, I don't
over
remember.
anything.
No, I don't
I-
remember
I-
that either.
I don't remember any interactions on those
I
sites.
don't either.
No, that name's not familiar.
I did have sorry, I had I don't know if it was a text or an email that said, like I said, I don't remember who I spoke to, but there was no notice of intent filed on our property.
No, we
Right.
would've had that, right.
Right, if that had happened, we would have that paperwork. We never
Right,
received
okay.
any of that. I don't remember an RDA, I don't remember an NRAD, I don't remember anything on these properties.
No, I think that they were nothing because we looked at it and said it was far enough away from everything. 'Cause
Maybe.
I think so. What year did you buy the house?
2019,
Yep,
September.
September of 2019.
No, that wasn't that long ago. I definitely don't remember that.
No, I don't remember any of this. So I mean, we would have seen it
Yeah.
18, maybe 17, but I doubt it.
We weren't doing viewpoint then?
No.
In
No,
2019?
it didn't miss by much, but it definitely missed viewpoint.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll check.
105, they did in, what year was that? That was 17 maybe, I think. Well, Lynn would
Must have
have
been
that,
before
the
me,
date of
because
Yeah,
the
I
Lynn
don't
building permit.
will have all those dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so why don't you fish that stuff out if you can? and-
Sure.
and-
Yeah, we should find out if Lynn needs it better by address or by parcel ID. I don't know how they organize.
Okay.
They should be able to do it both ways. I think she's
Yeah.
got it both ways.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
So, we don't have any more news yet. We invite you to stick around and listen to each of the future conversations about this.
Okay.
And we'll report whatever we learn for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you could come in for the next meeting, that'd be great,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll be in next meeting.
because then we'll have some paperwork, we can all look at it.
Yep, and then we can spend some time trying to go through old emails, trying to look at what documentation we have and see if we can find some additional information that goes
Perfect.
along with this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else on 101, 103? Moving on. Let's go to 232 Paxton, Barre Paxton Road. This all started because of Viewpoint. This is the storage buildings just by Four Corners. They want to build out a couple more buildings. Their buildings are within 100, which is why I said, hold on there, Spanky, let's get us an NOI.
Spanky. So you're trying to get yelled at again, Peter. Now you're calling George Lewis here Spanky. That's probably not going to go well.
So, it turns out, yeah, go ahead.
One thing on that, I believe there's a line that runs down to Long Pond along there. There's a connection to Long Pond.
Does it go all the way to Long? I don't know.
The water line?
Yeah, not a
No,
water
no,
line, but
yeah, there is a,
there's a water line,
yeah, but there's.
but there's also
Yeah.
A hydrologic connection?
Yeah.
a hydro connection, and then, because I remember we ran into something with that when we had the problem over at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there was all kinds of grief and aggravation on the filings
Oh, yeah.
when the, A, for the well.
Oh, pollution.
No,
Big deal.
the well that wasn't registered as a well.
Oh, that
Yeah.
one.
You know,
Oh,
when,
okay.
when DEP decided to go around bagging everybody, and what they did is they went all the highways, and they just looked for the Dunkin' Donuts,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and they just went into every one of them, and if the well, because most of them were wells, because I know 146 got hit real hard, there was a pile of them down there,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no municipal services. So they're all operating all wells, all of the little shops, and they just went in and just decided that they were gonna do enforcements. I guess it must have been a slow year for them that year or something, I don't know. But,
So,
he fell into the same, he got scooped up in the same thing.
Hmm.
And then we had the leak,
right.
okay? And there was some grief and aggravation over that because Long Pond might be considered
Secondary
ORW.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you've got something going into an ORW, that becomes ORW. It opens up a whole host of other regulations. So it's not just wetland.
So, I'm going to continue my little soliloquy about this. So they want to build, I looked, said wetland, uh-oh. And then I looked and said, wait a minute, there's a lot more work here that should have been jurisdictional about all the driveway. In fact, there's supposed to be a detention pond over here, or maybe over here, though the property lines are a little fuzzy based on these drawings. But, so I said, hey, where's your NOI? And eventually, the Luciers came back and said, oh, we got an NOI on this. Uh-oh, it expired.
Yeah, they did get an NOI. There was an NOI on that.
Do you remember what year that was?
You're waiting, like.
15?
He said 2015.
15.
Was it
Which
15?
means it expired in
I can believe
18.
it, yes.
And this is 21. So,
Oops.
long story short, too late, but long story short, he's gonna file a new NOI.
Yeah.
So we expect to see a submission next week.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, I remember that one because I fell on my head and tripped over a root.
Ooh.
Come on, our sidewalks, they're more fun. We don't roll, we bounce.
I sink. I just sink. It's just what it is.
so questions or comments about this lot?
Joe's not allowed to go.
Just
I'll bring my crutches.
There you go.
No, I think just wait for the NOI on it. I mean,
Yeah, that's all we're gonna do now. So I will be set.
Next. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Oh my god.
No, that's not me, I don't know who's buzzing.
Me.
That's distracting, you know.
You started it.
165 Cannon Road. No progress has been made so far. I've spoken to the police chief about how we go about getting an administrative warrant. I had hoped that he already knew how to do it. He unfortunately didn't. He knows the process for normal search warrants, but that would give us access to the property.
When was her deadline? Has it passed yet?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think it was
Sure.
the July 6th meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But have not heard any response back from her when I reached
Even
out to
if it
her.
had been pushed out to today's meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
She dropped contact with us.
No, we
Yeah.
pushed it out to the last meeting.
Right, July
Was it
6th was
Friday?
her, was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she was supposed to.
Yeah.
So, from what I've been told, that this is zero cost option to the town. It's a matter of writing an affidavit, submitting it, having the court decide yay or nay, and then assuming it's a yay, we get access to the property and we can make our determination.
Do we want to try and send one more letter just for backup when we do end up submitting it, especially showing or sharing the information we got from Holden Comcom saying that they did not say it wasn't anything?
Was the letter certified that was sent the first time?
Yes.
I would do
I
it.
don't remember.
Certified.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
certified,
did.
but it was responded to, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it was
she
okay.
got
responded to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
sorry,
return receipt.
sorry, it's before my time, Peter.
We have emails and we have letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If we send
recorded
another
meetings.
one, although it's maybe a good idea to do certified and regular again, just
Just in case.
just in case.
What about getting DEP involved in this?
It's another option.
Good luck.
At this point, talk to DEP.
We thought about it, my expectation is this is not gonna be a big enough issue for them to spend their time on.
It may not be, but if they don't know about it, they can't make that decision.
True.
Well, we issued an enforcement order officially, right? So did that get sent to DEP?
No, we didn't do an enforcement
didn't do
order.
it?
We were giving her till the last meeting to do something,
I think
and
we
she
should issue an
didn't.
enforcement order saying
Mhm.
she's in
So we don't have
non-compliance.
There we go.
Because that also gets sent to DEP as their copy,
Mhm.
and it's, I think, a better way when we do submit for the warrant.
Okay. I'm all for
Good
that.
idea.
I'm gonna do what I usually do at this time. Melissa, do you mind helping to make?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I have samples from other ones that I've done, so I know I can put it together and I'll have Melissa give it a quick once over, and then I'll send it certified.
What
Make sure we get it.
Fantastic.
What do we want to say?
Well, I'd love to use her own words against her and say that by her own words, she's in, she's,
Well, she failed to get back to us.
Yeah.
well, on top of that, but more than that, at the meeting, I wasn't at this meeting, so I'm sort of doing it from hearsay.
Oh.
But she said, as I understand, yeah, we have the cows run over here with the places that we,
Correct.
that are marked as wetlands, and that we can't prove aren't wetlands because she won't let us on the property.
Right.
And the Concom agents, Holden, said they determined that the cattle are in the wetlands, and they asked them to put up a fence, and they refused.
Okay, so
So we have
so Holden has
documentation of that.
correspondence with them.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
they've been very involved, but they couldn't enforce because it's in Rutland.
And they never told us.
Yeah.
But they never told us.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay, what's the chances we can get copies of that?
I have all of that.
She
We
has
talked,
it.
we
You
did
got
it
it.
at the last meeting.
Perfect.
Yep, I've got all that.
Yeah, so I would suggest we are checking out the finding that's an area subject to protection, because we do have the information from Holden Concom.
Did Holden actually get out there to see it?
Yes, she got on the
Yes.
Oh,
property
yeah.
and she took
On the Holden
pictures.
side,
Which is
that's why they were
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have
Um,
pictures too. She has pictures of the disturbance that the cattle made in the
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
And they
So we
believe it's
could get-
jurisdictional.
Sworn statements from them.
Oh, yeah.
I would say.
DCR could get sworn statements from them.
Does it have a number or a letter next to the
Because
one?
remember, DCR is the one that's
So
asking for all of
That's,
this.
yeah, that's true.
Which one did you say?
This first
maybe
one.
DCR
is-
Could go to Holden and get Holden's statements. That would seem to me to
And I
be
would
some
say
kind
if
of
we order
a
just
streamlined,
the first one,
you know, we would need to be involved because it's in town, obviously, but
the last one,
First one and last one?
and then, you know, maybe say please if
but
you
it
see
seems like we're
attached
doing all the
letter,
work and
and you can outline kind of more the
somebody else
history.
ain't,
Okay.
Mhm.
We
when
need to get
they
an
were the ones
apology.
requesting in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And I'm definitely gonna run that by you before I send it.
So for the order part of it, so we're checking off that we're finding that the activity has been conducted in an area subject to protection. And we are ordering to cease and desist. And there is one that says corrected and restore, but I think for now we should do just cease and desist. And then the property owner shall also take the following action, which will do the cover or the letter associated with it, outlining, you know, allow us to access the property and determine for next steps for remediation of wetland resource areas.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
I move to issue an enforcement
All
order
that.
as discussed for 165 Cannon Road.
I'll second.
All in, sorry, roll call.
Delacola, aye.
Langer, aye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Danza, aye.
Hawkeye.
Crane, aye. All right.
Do, we wanna also notify Jennifer?
She's already in the loop,
Mhm.
and I have been keeping them up to date on what's been going on too.
Okay, cause I didn't notice her name on the.
She indicated the last time she was here that VCR was going to be now separating and doing their own investigation and not doing it with us in conjunction.
Okay.
But said she would appreciate updates, so I have been.
So we're gonna tell them, but they're not gonna tell us.
No,
Usual. The usual.
I think somebody up above might have got.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, we got this forest cutting plan. Did you scan this in, or was it sent to us electronically?
No, I scanned it in. It came in the mail.
Oh, Neil. Where?
I'm a gusset.
I'm gonna say, where is it? Because it's not gonna be in Holden.
Just
No, it's
ski,
gonna
just
be
ski area,
fine.
just ski area.
Yeah.
Not taking a lot.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, cordwood.
That's a lot more cord than anything else.
That's all it is cord.
8-inch diameter and smaller. Yeah. Larger trees to remain.
Yeah, so I'm just trimming the property back.
Yep. Oh, look.
Is there anything
There it
over
is.
5 acres
Yep.
that you have to do a forest cutting plan for? Is that what the threshold is?
This is Palmagussit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It might be.
My God, I can't remember.
I can see my house from here.
No, you can't.
No, there's a hill in the way there.
Mm.
There's a hill.
Oh, there we go. Fine. Questions, comments?
Not cutting in a wetland.
Nope.
It's a portage. So it's not like an acre, yeah.
So now we're into our last issue of discussion. So let's bring Joe and Scott up to date. We are at the very beginning of the process of writing a Conservation Commission bylaw, a Wetlands Protection bylaw, and likely updating the Stormwater bylaw. And then there are the whatever regulations we make on top of
I
that.
was like, what else is there?
Yeah, well, then there are the regs.
That was oh no, he's paused.
That's not enough.
Well, what's the thumbnail on wetlands? What are we looking to change or go beyond with?
We were actually in the middle of discussing exactly that. We will, as I said, we're at the very beginning of the process. The biggest reason we're gonna want a Concom bylaw is to outline some new authority of Concom. The latest stormwater regulations by the federal government require that town have people responsible for stormwater management, including, but not limited to, pre-construction control, erosion control, post-construction surveillance. There's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be done.
Did anybody talk to DPW about that?
DPW approached me personally.
Okay, reason I'm asking the question is DPW was working at one point, not that long ago, on stormwater management regulations. And there was a committee
They never met, but they had a committee.
All right, and they may.
So
I mean,
like
I'm
the
just
new
looking-
building committee that never met. Give me a.
Well, no, they
Senior
met, and there were quite a number of people, you know, experienced people on that committee.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go into naming names now, but suffice to say that the committee existed and they did do some work with that. I don't know what all they did. I was only made aware of that they were doing something, just to let the Conservation Commission know at the time. And this goes back quite a ways. This was being done in anticipation of stormwater regulations, you know, coming down the pike.
Mm-hmm.
So they were trying to work, you know, kind of stay ahead of it. And my understanding is, and I could be wrong, but my understanding is that this is more of a road drainage issue more than anything else.
No,
Mhm.
Not
No.
anymore.
No.
no. Every construction project over a certain size.
Well, a construction project involves a roadway,
Okay,
okay.
sure.
okay? You hear me out on this, all right? The water that comes off of a house lot, for argument's sake,
Mhm.
all right, is either contained on that lot or it goes into a storm drain that is installed in front of the house or along somewhere. And it was a whole, and I'm going by memory, and you know,
Mhm.
forgive me for that, bear with me. But there was a whole thing about stormwater management inside of, like, the cul-de-sacs, all of the little projects that we've got, the developments. And they really weren't looking at individual house lot, they were looking at the macro rather than the micro.
The micro came into it by law, though.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that changed. They were looked at. You are right, but now they've added the house laws.
Well, that's all well and good, but is this something that the Concom needs to be involved with, or is this something, because I'll
The
tell you right now,
reason-
you're gonna have to
the
get somebody
reason-
certified.
The reason Concom was asked about it was because we already have a lot of experience and knowledge just because of everything we do with the wetlands and water flow and erosion controls in that domain anyway.
Right, but you're going beyond what we do,
I
way
understand
beyond
that.
that, all right? And you're gonna need somebody that's certified.
Right.
You're gonna have to get somebody certified.
What do you mean by
You
certified?
have to be.
Stormwater management,
You're gonna have to have somebody.
I'm a
to stand-
Seswi.
are you?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as I'm just,
What do you get? What do you get with the
hey,
second?
you gotta copy paste.
Can you
If you don't
spell
copy
that?
paste,
By the way, Melissa.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, Melissa, you did a great job holding your tongue in that planning board meeting.
They
But-
weren't getting it.
And when Clee said, "No, you're wrong, miss," wow, did I
Miss?
expect a lot more than nothing out of that.
I know. I was pacing my house.
But that's, you know, all right, so you, what are you, 2 or 4?
What do you mean?
What level?
It's just a certification.
Oh, all right, so you're not. Okay.
You really don't need to be certified, you know, for anything to review a lot of stormwater management aspects.
All right, but if you're gonna be saying no to a plan, all right, that gets presented, all right, it is, I would think, much wiser for us to be certified at a level where you can say professionally no, rather than just, I think no.
Ask for a peer review on it.
Yeah.
Just ask for.
That's
If
what
it's
most
if it's that
You got- you
complicated,
can
ask
do
for.
that.
If it's that complicated, ask for a peer review. If
That's
it's
what we do in South
Right, but then you have, the thing I get concerned about these things when they come down on you like this, all right? That there's a little more to the story than what you are initially fed, you know, and I get nervous about it because I look at what liabilities do you assume, you know, when you say, okay, we're gonna handle this.
I think we would look at it like we do wetlands filings. It has a stamp on it. They're certifying that they're building in compliance with our bylaws and regulations.
Okay?
I mean, yes,
I
it
don't
does.
have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do agree. It does.
They are the engineer of record.
Yeah.
They're responsible for
So
it.
it'd be like them
And if you
submitting an
question it, ask for
NOI.
another one.
Yeah.
That's,
I think the peer review option, I mean,
It's
that's.
a good
if
option.
it's that bad of a thing,
Yeah.
if that questionable, okay.
Yep.
Just,
And
like,
that usually gets charged to the developer, not to the town.
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
Does,
No
And that's
expense.
one of those, you mean, under
Does the-
standard thing?
does the law allow you to do that?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenwood
Oh, yeah,
does
other
it all the
towns,
time.
other
Yep.
towns do that.
You just put
Okay.
it in your bylaw and regs saying that you have the right for peer review, just like WPA does.
Okay, as long as it's in
Yep.
the reg.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. I just get nervous, you know,
Right, so
because
that's kind of where it
the last thing we
started.
wanna do is get wrapped up in court over some stupid little,
No, that's true.
Agreed, I think
It's true.
we can manage the bylaws and the regulations.
is this something we can get or plagiarize from another town?
Absolutely.
Look at the king.
I see the grin, I see the grin.
You know how much stuff he's written?
I'm
Now,
catching
also-
up here, I'm catching up.
Also, to be clear, I've made very clear to Joe, and then I've talked to the town administrator, and I've talked to the finance committee saying, we will need an agent to manage this. And that means we're gonna have to hire somebody, which is we're gonna have to find money somewhere to make that happen. Because without that, the rest of this won't do any good. The most we can do is look at plans
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah.
oh, you haven't given us a SWIP, and then have the developer try to explain to us why he doesn't need to give us a SWIP, and we say, yes, he does.
Story of my life.
Yes, that's right.
It's like a repeat of
As I
last
said,
Tuesday.
this was,
So this is a repeat of my day today. Yes.
oh, also, huh, it's Groundhog Day.
Yes, that's the right word.
I'm just that kind of
So-
suspicious person that,
No, you're right. And
you
so,
know, I like to hear the whole story before.
the
Yeah.
truth is, we don't have any authority to do this until we write a bylaw and it gets accepted by the town. So we get to make, because we're writing the law, we have, and the regs, we have a lot of decisions to make on how we want to manage this.
Yeah. And we also have to, it has to be accepted by the town.
Yes, it does.
And what is Plan B if it's not?
Rewrite it.
We get fined by the
rewrite it.
EPA.
Again,
Really?
Because one of
Yeah.
the things,
No, for
you know,
sure.
we've never had good success. just like
Blood
Overrides.
from a stone? We're broke. Go ahead.
Override stuff
Come on.
Come for me.
and conservation bylaws that have been attempted in the past never worked either. That's why I say, what's the
no,
Plan B?
you're right. Well, there isn't much
I'm
more
not,
plan.
it's not a commentary on the town,
No,
you know, or anything like that. It's just
like
historic.
Like so many other things that would come before town meeting, there's a whole lot of, there will be information sessions so that the town has an idea what they're doing. They're not gonna be surprised. The only people who will be surprised at town meeting are those people who aren't paying attention to any of the communications channels that we use.
Yes.
And yes, they will be there.
Yes.
It's the three types of people.
So I don't think they actually ever made regulations for the stormwater bylaw.
Just a bylaw.
I
Just
don't
the
know of
bylaw.
any.
I can't find any.
Yeah, I would have to ask Joe, but he hasn't mentioned that they have any, which, based on our discussions, it would surprise me if they have any regs.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, they didn't, I never heard of anything going to town.
Well,
Right.
regulations wouldn't
They
need
don't
to
have
go to the town because the
bylaw
bylaw
was
is
passed by the
enacted.
town.
Yeah. Bylaw was enacted in 2018.
Which bylaw?
The stormwater.
Stormwater bylaw.
Oh, yeah, because they had to.
Right.
Right. But there's no regulations, so you really can't enforce it.
Who did it give authority to?
DPW.
Oh, DPW. Okay.
Yeah, DPW. So
Uh-huh.
if we were to take this, if we agreed on this
Yeah.
as a committee or a commission, that we would update that bylaw, which is
Okay.
just
And not put it in the zoning bylaw.
no.
No,
No.
it's separate, yeah. Sometimes have a separate
Think so.
committee, stormwater committee.
Which
Yeah.
is something to consider,
Could have-
which I think will be part of our
Guys
discussion
asked
around the
us-
whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I've worked with some towns that have conservation commission,
Oh, actually, it's the Board of
stormwater
Selectmen.
committee, planning board. They all have interest in stormwater, but they tend to defer to the stormwater committee for the final review.
Actually, it's the BOS shall administer, implement, and enforce this bylaw.
Interesting.
But they also, there is a.
But then the DPW may
DPW
promulgate rules and regulations.
Yeah, because the one that's gonna be visiting the most with this bylaw is gonna be the DPW,
Yeah.
because
In
anything
fact-
they do is coming.
In fact, the BOS is the wrong authority.
Mm-hmm.
Should be the
Mhm.
Board of Public Works. One of the many mistakes made in that bylaw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so-
even the BOS is the one who would adopt and amend the regs, it says. It's Skip's fault.
Aw, poor Skip.
It's very all over the place.
Yeah, it's,
Yes, it was clearly taken from a model, and then Weston and Sampson beat the hell out of it and gave it to Gary, who just said, here's your bylaw.
Yeah.
Let's pass this right now because we have to.
that's right.
That's
Mhm.
roughly the
Yeah,
sequence
that-
of
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
That's, yeah.
It sounds like it had to be put together fairly quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a crash program.
Yeah.
Because the bylaw committee, well, the stormwater committee never really came up with anything. So time ran out.
So it's Peter's fault now.
No.
This side of the
Everything's
room
my
is
fault.
having a rough night.
It's okay, I deserve it. I've been a naughty boy.
Don't start with your original email.
Yep.
Sorry. Hi, Peter.
Well, I think we need to reinstall the public stocks up on the common,
Oh, God.
you know, so we can reinstitute the public floggings.
Just don't leave me out there in the rain, man.
That's the lightning.
Yeah, rain's okay, not
Rain's
just
fine.
lightning.
Swinging from the.
What I will say is when I'm doing this, it's hard to control the phone with only one hand. I'm no good with one thumb typing. So that's where we are. Well, that's where we have been.
Perfect spot to stay.
Gosh.
We had gotten into some details on
Yeah.
some
We had
Yes,
started, and I'm
we had
trying to
started.
bylaw and
find.
reg
It should
language.
be.
Yeah.
It should be on the drive under the folder.
Yeah.
Yes, I just haven't.
It's in the spam folder.
Is there an easy way to back up on Drive? Like, I can never get back to the previous,
Oh yeah, yours looks different than mine.
so it's not just me.
What if you click on the shared with
Okay.
me? Does it take you?
Hold on.
Yeah, it
Let's
does.
start with this. I don't
Oh,
use
sorry, my hand's right in the way.
Oh, I don't.
the weekly or meeting link Tamika gives me. Tamika
Oh,
gave
maybe it's
me.
because it's.
Let me email this to everybody. Other bookmarks. Scroll all the freaking way down. Copy. Oh, I have to update my mailing list
What do you mean?
because I don't have. I mean, I've got Joe, but I don't have Mitch. And
I
I've
can
got-
send you theirs. I have their email addresses.
Oh, I have the email. I just haven't.
Oh.
I have a conservation
Oh,
commission
yeah,
email
me
list
too.
myself.
I gotcha. Yeah, I do too.
Come here. I said.
He has his own group.
Yeah, I set it up too, so for each board, so I don't have to type it all in every time.
Oh God, no! I didn't want you. Well, I got you here. Oh no. Well, sure. I'll make this from conservation. That is the root of everything that's on the Google Drive.
It's like the home page of the Google
Pretty
Drive.
much. So this Tamika already has it. So let's add Melissa and Jared and Scott. Oh,
Not Mr. Gilroy.
I may not have your email address.
Yeah, you do.
Huh?
You do.
That's rude.
Type
SJL.
SJL.
There you go.
There you are. I don't know why. It
I
didn't
hope you
pop
didn't
up.
delete me, you know.
I didn't.
You
Like I could
aggravated
possibly
him.
delete you.
You put me in spam folder.
You put you in spam. He belonged to you.
Why should just go?
No, do JEL Del. Yeah. And
See, it
do-
should come up by the names I have assigned to them.
I know
don't
it doesn't.
why
It
it's
does the
not.
same thing to me.
Skip.
No, do skip 199. Skip Clark.
Oh,
He doesn't like that one.
Watch
You're
me
right.
watch me come over and do this for you. I mean, this is
He doesn't like the town one. Sorry, Skip, I don't want to speak on your
No, that's
behalf, but
good.
he likes
No, you're
199.
Take that Tom on and dig him.
What's
No,
the right
type
address
type
again?
it type in 199 and it should come up. There it is.
I love software. Niche, and I wanna, no, I don't think I wanna do that one.
Yeah, he's using that one for Concom.
I was using this?
Yep,
Okay.
he's using the town one.
1, 2, 3, 4, okay.
Yeah, you have to count, make sure you got everything.
Yeah. Don't forget to count yourself. Otherwise, you're off one.
I've done that more than once.
Yeah.
And since conservation's sending it, then, you guys may not know this.
Probably not.
Conservation in town of Rutland.org is a real thing.
Hmm.
So, people should please stop sending me emails. Please, send it to conservation so something will happen.
I know it's right on the webpage, but
It is.
it doesn't get used too often.
Doesn't link?
No, it does.
Oh, okay.
I just don't think people use it very often. I usually get it still to my
They-
work email address.
They don't, and things get really
You get a lot of
weirder when
stuff
you're
to
talking-
Earthworks. How
Yeah.
does it end up going to Earthworks a lot of time? Do people just search for Peter Crane and then do it that way?
No, because on Viewpoint, Peter Crane is earthworks at townofrutland.org.
Oh, so that's how it happens.
Yes.
Okay.
And which is why, in fact, I'm assigned everything for earthworks review and Concom review, so I do them all at the same time.
Yeah.
So when another chair comes in, they're gonna have to do something else in Viewpoint to create a link to conservation or to whatever, rather than,
That's easy.
but
to do both.
they feel comfortable assigning persons' names, which turn into other things.
You're a user.
Yeah, Lynn Miller has the exact same problem because she's Board of Health and
Oh,
Building department,
Building
I think.
Commission, all that shit, and they did something magical for her that they don't know how to do for me to make two.
She,
Well, I had
she
originally-
asked nicely.
I had originally asked for 2 permissions in the Viewpoint. That when we first initiated that,
Yep.
and one was gonna be for the secretary and the other for the chairman.
Mm-hmm.
So that for some reason, chairman was unavailable, secretary could.
Yeah, I think Viewpoint sucks. You can only assign to one user. So you can't assign it to 2 people, at least from what I can remember.
Yeah, that's how it was explained to me
Yeah.
as well. Because they didn't explain that on the front end, they just asked,
Oh.
who do you want
Yeah.
to be able to access? And
Yeah, I don't
I
think you
think-
can
I
assign
think-
it to 2.
I would hope that by now that has been remedied, I would think. I mean, is
It
it
hasn't.
updated? I mean, I
hasn't.
think we,
it's too bad they can't change it to link to just the conservation email address.
That's what I wanted them to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet they could do that.
Well, again, they need to create another identity, another user.
They
for
can't
that
replace
conservation.
your identity. Oh, because you still have to be Earthworks.
Right.
Okay.
yeah. I
But
think,
I-
isn't there some too about how many you can have?
Probably.
I mean, there's a licensing,
No, it's unlimited.
Is it? No?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I
I
don't
think
know.
the
Well,
one Southborough has is
I've
unlimited.
asked for this in the past,
Oh.
but maybe as Scott says, maybe
Who-
I'm just not asking.
is David still doing it?
Yeah, he's the guy I asked.
Okay.
Oops, that's not my work email.
So maybe I'll ask a little more consistent.
There you go.
Because I would really prefer that there were, to separate the 2 reviews.
That makes sense.
Okay. So, in our Google Drive under Wetland Bylaws and Regulations. So Melissa did a lot of work finding bylaws that are out there. And so this is a link to, these are Concom or wetlands
I think I
bylaws?
put both. So that's the
Okay, let me open
MACC list, which they just updated last year, and then it's the link to the Central Mass Stormwater Coalition with links to stormwater bylaws.
I need to replace my computer, and Dell and I are arguing. And by that I mean, I'm trying to ask for a computer and Dell refuses to ship me one. So, yes, maybe, I'm not asking.
I've seen a trend here today.
Peter's having a rough night.
Oh, is this a memory limitation?
No, the graphics are dying.
Oh.
Google Drive is a safe place.
Were you able to get it to go back to the main screen, or did you have to click
No,
on the link Peter
I went
sent
to
you?
my email that I was in my other Gmail.
Huh.
I think that's why.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
All right, Mac's list of wetlands, bylaws, and regs. And then, oh God, yes, of course, there's a Central Mass Regional Stormwater Coalition. Of course there is, and of course remembers. But that's not what I wanted to review tonight.
SMAC is offering the MS4 stuff.
Yep, but I'm not sure that Mac has, Mac doesn't have any stormwater stuff in it. Well, they'll have some.
I'm getting emails from them constantly. I'll send some over.
Okay, because I have seen nothing about MS4.
I think they've done like lunch and learns about it.
Oh.
They're
yeah,
doing
that's-
webinars. Lunch and learn. 12 o'clock on Thursday.
Sounds like fun.
It's a
Lunch
webinar
and
right
learn.
now.
Alliteration.
Lunch and learn.
So these are some thoughts Melissa had about what we should include.
We started going.
We started,
Yeah.
and I can't
Yeah.
modify this, so did somebody have notes about?
Yeah, it would have been in the minutes. I don't remember specifically, but we did
We made a
vote.
chart.
Yeah, there's definitely like the first 3 or 4 have been okayed and would be in the minutes.
Oh,
God, when
I
was
can go
that?
and find the
It
minutes.
wasn't that long ago. I want to say maybe May.
When did I sign, or when did I send this?
Oh,
I
you
don't
should
do that.
do this.
March.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was that far long that we actually that you guys voted on it. But it was definitely the first 4.
Let's think this
I
through.
want to say April, maybe.
When did
May.
I go? I went on vacation in July, I think. No, it was June.
She sent that email in March with her recommendation, so it would have been between March and May. It definitely wasn't June.
Why do we have nothing beyond May 18 in past meetings?
April.
This is just when I started using the Google Drive. So anything before that, we would just have to grab the minutes off the
No,
website.
I'm looking for
It
meetings
is.
since
It's
May.
June. Yep. It's just not in order.
Oh, it's in alpha. It's in,
Yeah.
it's in lexical order.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, I don't.
Lexical.
It does. I
Yeah.
don't know. It does that. I don't know how to change
Computer
that.
term.
I
Learn
just
it.
did.
No, I'm good.
Fine.
It was June.
Dictionary order.
I
Okay.
just looked at April and
Alphabetical.
Okay. That I understand.
Except there's more than alphabetic letters. 'Cause it's alphanumeric and notice the commas.
Hmm.
May 4th.
So if I were to,
Yeah, there's a little fruit fly.
I
let's
know,
just
he's in
take
here
a
all the
stab at June
time.
15 for the hell of it. No, that's the agenda, that's the notes.
So it has to be after that. Is it May 4th? So maybe it was.
So it would have been probably the May 4th meeting then, because that was
Oh,
the minutes
God.
for April.
Okay, it was before this, because this is freaking Cannon Road.
Oh, it's May 4th
So let's
again.
go to May 18. 'cause it's-
Yeah, I think it's probably May 18th. So that would have been June 1st.
June.
I think. I think it's the May 18th.
Oh, I don't know, hold on.
No, it's not May 18th.
It was the May 18th minutes though, yeah.
These are the May 18 minutes, and all
No.
it says is this.
No.
No, that's
you're-
not the May 18th. That's the
You're on the
minutes
May
in the
18th.
May
Oh, you're right.
meeting.
That's the minutes.
Yeah.
that we
So go to
approved in
June
May
4th.
18.
It's in the June 1st folder.
Thanks.
Which takes 5 seconds to find because they're not in order of date.
No, I didn't do it that way.
If you
either.
put-
I know I
don't
didn't
know
change
why.
it.
If you make a
Google it.
date of year-month-day,
That's what
Then
I'm
it
doing.
does
so
it.
2021-06-01.
Mm-hmm.
If you use that format, it guarantees to sort the way you want.
Interesting. Okay.
That's what I do at work.
Visually, I don't love that as much.
No,
now.
it's
It's
horrible
hard because then
visually.
my brain's like, oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute, is that the
But
date
then
or
it
is that
sorts
the
it all.
month?
It's like, all right, I can live with that.
Right there.
Oh, you went past it.
Of course.
Keep a little bit more.
Was there anybody who didn't expect that?
Always an overachiever.
There we go. We went to 25. And no structures or impervious surfaces within 50. That's really all we did that long time, was we only talked about those two?
No,
Vernal pools?
number 2 combined the first 4 on Melissa's list because Melissa's went up to the isolated vegetated wetlands
Oh,
and we
yeah.
just combined it into that one section. So that was the first 4.
It seems like we did so much more, doesn't it?
Well, we talked about it a lot.
We did talk
Yeah,
about
there was
it
a
a
long
lot.
conversation about it and then it kind of just melted into that.
Two to one replication?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Minimum, at least.
Well, that may be a stumbling block.
We haven't, nobody's,
It's very standard.
Yeah.
yeah,
I've seen higher.
nobody's complained about that yet, all the times that we've done
Well,
it.
we haven't enforced at that level.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think every application that's come before us has been either very close or over 2 to 1
Yeah.
in the last. How long have I been here? 3 years?
Couple years. Yeah.
4 years?
So I think
Feels like forever, doesn't it?
1.5 is all I remember ever.
Oh, we've done
I've seen
twos.
2 to 1. I've seen 4 to 1 in some towns.
Yeah.
Some towns are really aggressive.
No, I'm talking about in here.
In here, yeah.
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 No, there have been occasions,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that if we have our standard, if our documented standard is 2 to 1, and we can,
You still can adjust
everything,
it.
every standard is up for discussion
Mm-hmm.
and waivers.
Well, no, I mean, if you're gonna establish it as a bylaw, you leave it, you take away the discussion.
You can still ask for a
No.
waiver.
You can still, you can
The applicant
put
can
into
ask
the
for a
bylaw,
waiver.
you can have waivers.
So if it's unfeasible to have a 2 to 1 replication on your site, then you ask for a waiver.
Planning board does that.
Yeah.
I think 2 to 1 is fair.
I do.
Because
I
Well,
don't
we
think
have
the
to-
2 to 1's
yeah.
a problem.
You think the enforcement's going to be
But
hard? Or?
the enforcement, not the enforcement, but what we were just talking about, where you can waive it.
Only.
Well, wait a minute now. You know, how come you're giving him 1.5 or 1 1/4,
You can
and you're making me, you know, I mean,
There has to be good reason for a waiver.
Yeah.
That's right, there
Yeah,
will
you-
always be reasons that will be documented
long as-
along
yeah.
with the waiver about
Right.
why 2 to 1 was impractical on that site.
They would have to demonstrate no practical alternative.
Right. And in fact, we've seen a couple, I'm not sure they were actually built, because it might have been solar. I don't remember anymore, but I remember one where
Treasure
the
Valley.
replication area was surprisingly far away from the
Initial site.
from where the wetlands were destroyed, because the soils were so much better for wetland
Yeah.
replication
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, offsite, you do offsite method replication or
Yeah.
offsite
Yeah.
mitigation. Yep.
yeah, there wasn't any replication of Treasure Valley.
Part 2 had something.
No, because they stayed out of that.
Because originally I didn't do it.
Yeah,
though.
originally they were gonna fill
Because they had
that,
that
fill in
middle
that
piece.
area, but
Right.
they stayed out of it so that
But-
they didn't get involved with that.
Oh, moron. That's the one. And that's the one. So we did 1 through 4. Limitation of the amount of resource area fill. That's right, so do we want to have a more restrictive fill than 5,000 square feet? These are all the decisions we have to make about whether it goes in bylaw or regs. I'm gonna hum on all that, that's not important today. Let's at least discuss what we want the limits to be.
When would we need a limit like that?
So that,
anything more than what is already specified
just
by
so
law.
you don't allow up to 5,000 square
Yeah.
feet. So you
Right,
limit
but
the
what
amount
would
of
be
fill.
what would be the impetus, what would be the reason?
It just triggers more of them. 'Cause you're gonna drop
To
it.
limit the amount of wetland fill
Yeah,
in
like,
town.
Right.
do we wanna limit it to 2,500 max?
Yeah.
To limit impacts to wetlands, direct impacts to wetlands.
Right, but then that goes back to
Replication. It
replication.
does, I agree. I'm personally okay with the 5, because we have the 2 to 1. If somebody
what I'm
really,
thinking.
somebody really wants to fill 4,900 square feet, you're giving us back almost 10. That seems fair.
Yeah, I'll take that.
As long as you do it right.
True. Well, I think that's why the 2 to 1 is appropriate, because it doesn't all take all
Right.
the time.
Right.
Yeah, so you, hopefully you get 75% of it.
That's what I'm saying, why would you bother changing it? I mean,
I wouldn't. I like 5.
because if they're gonna take it,
Mhm.
they gotta give you twice as much back. I mean,
Were you thinking of doing something less, Melissa?
Yeah.
It's, I know just most towns do
Just-
something less, so that's
yeah.
why I put it in
What
there.
numbers have you seen?
2,500, 3,500, 4,000. I think usually if they're limiting it, it's 4,000 is the highest.
Skip, you have any thoughts on the matter?
No. Sounds good to me.
Not gonna just say ditto?
No, not like that. That was
It took me too long to keep up with Skip on my minutes.
I'm teasing him about the TA review last night, which you'll be able to watch on TV and YouTube soon.
Thank you for that promo.
Oh, yeah. It was good.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't have a particular opinion either way. If we're good with 5,000, we're good with 5,000, okay. Fees.
yeah, fees, how do we determine costs? Because the fee
How does the
cannot
state determine?
exceed, the fee cannot exceed the cost of providing the service.
That's not necessarily true with the bylaw.
Oh, I think it is. Because you have to justify your fee based on what it costs for the town to provide that service.
No, a lot of
Because
towns.
you can't become a profit center.
Not to say it's going to become a profit, but you are allowed to accumulate fees in excess of what it costs to implement them. Because if you have a bylaw, you don't need to use it specifically for the Wetlands Protection Act.
I don't know.
Then it's just a revolving fee fund. Not to say we should be crazy about it, but a lot of towns even just say this, you know, the WPA fee and then the town fee is the WPA fee on top of it, so it's essentially doubled. Or Riverfront, they do a 1.5 times. In ANRAD, the state fee is per linear foot too, but then they add on to that as well
And where does the money reside?
in a revolving fund.
All right, so it's not, it does not touch general fund,
No.
doesn't go near that?
Nope.
Okay. Are there restrictions?
I mean, it's for Conservation Commission use, but I believe you can still use it for like open space and such too.
Okay, good. Well, basically, as in, the restrictions are not the same as the restrictions.
Correct.
Okay.
Do you happen to know
Mm-hmm.
which section of MGL covers this particular kind of revolving fund?
It's just a 53.5.
53 too,
3.5,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the planning board uses
Mm-hmm.
for all of their fees that they collect. And it just goes into the fund, and then from there I pay
Right.
the associated costs.
Yeah, I think the 53G, the way that's written,
It's not
you don't even-
53G. 53G is peer review. This is a 53E
53G
and a half.
and a half. I think the way that that's written too is it allows you just to adopt it. You don't have to go to,
Yeah, it will just be another line item in the bylaw that's there and in
Yeah.
the yearly allocation.
right.
Or
Yeah,
It's
spending
not an
limit.
allocation, the yearly
Yeah, spending
termination.
threshold or whatever.
I think, yeah, I wonder what we'd make for the max threshold, but let's not worry about that today. $30.
You can worry about that after the first year. I think you can worry about it. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see how much we. use
Well,
it.
the truth is, we would probably do all of these at an annual.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it would be a coordinated package of stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, you would have to.
Okay. Yes, Scott?
Nothing?
Nothing? Okay.
No.
Enforcement, so actually, let's
So
ask,
what do you?
what are we gonna, that's right, so it sounds, I haven't heard anybody talk against setting up our own fees, ignoring what the numbers are, we'll worry about.
You should have a fee. There's no doubt about it.
And then, I just wanna make sure I understand, Melissa, it would be their normal DEP fees to the DEP and to the town, and then an additional fee on top of it?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And you can charge for things like the COCs, amendments, extensions.
And you want separate checks.
Yes, they
Yeah.
have to be separate.
Because they would be going into different accounts,
Yes.
so we would need separate checks.
It'd be 3 checks.
Yeah, unless you can divvy it up when you're depositing it. Like at work, I can put separate account numbers for the same check, but.
Separate checks make it easier to track.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
does.
Which we would then maybe want to reconsider how we have the applicants submit the check separate for the TNG, because then in that case, technically, that's part of the cost of doing the application, in which case I would just pay it from that 53.5 account.
I would think so. I
Okay.
would think we'd do it in much more in a planning board-like manner than the
Okay.
way we have been doing it
That
for a
makes
while.
sense.
And that way we just get billed at the end of the month or so and you just
Yeah,
pay
so
it.
they
Yeah.
build, and then I
Okay.
just, I do a schedule of bills payable and I give it to the accountant, and he does it that way.
Oh, hold on. I gotta look at something. Please, 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 please. The Earthworks Board meeting is going off this Thursday. That makes me happy.
So am I writing down that we're okay with this?
Yes,
Just-
we're okay
okay.
with imposing a fee, a town
Yeah.
fee
Yeah.
for, yeah, we, again, we'll get into more details as we get into it, which applications get fees and what those will be. We'll figure that all out later, but nobody's against it. Enforcement and violation fees.
Melissa gets to take it booked.
I still have my badge from Pat Hannon.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Sorry. That's a story
For the
in
good
and of
old
itself.
Uxie days. Okay. Yeah, so enforcement violation fees will essentially allow us that every day they're in non-compliance, we can charge a set fee. Usually it's like up to $300 or $500 a day, and it's per day per violation.
Okay, let's be careful. Are these criminal or non-criminal violations?
Well, they have to be non-criminal. I
No,
think.
they don't have to be. That's why we asked the question.
I would do non-criminal.
What do you mean they don't have
What's
to?
the difference?
What did I
Yeah.
say? It is the enforcement process and how it can be appealed. Because the non-criminal, it's just they pay a fee to the town clerk and it moves on. But non-criminal, it's going to court.
You mean criminal? It's going to court.
Criminal is going to court. Somebody's going to court to deal with it.
Yes. So non-criminal
Non-criminal is limited to $300
or whatever.
by state law.
Per
So
day, per
Yeah, yeah.
violation.
Oh,
yes, per day, per
Right.
violation.
yes.
Okay.
And by the way, the bylaws
Is
are
it
being
per V per D?
Yes.
It will be per violation, and each separate day is a
Each
different
day is
violation.
another
Yes.
violation.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I like that one better. 'Cause it's-
Isn't there a not to
it's a
exceed
faster
number?
process.
No.
Isn't there a maximum? No?
No.
Okay.
Because they could keep violating till the end of time. And then
Yeah.
the only
Good luck
thing.
collecting it.
Well, and I think to officially issue the fees, you have to have a public hearing, but that's the only administrative aspect of it.
Not per the
What's a-
criminal disposition law.
No.
Some bylaws say that. So I think it's just how we phrase it.
Yeah, I wouldn't work it that way. You're bad, you're
Noted.
bad.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make him the test case.
Yeah, all right. You have a violation of stepping foot 2 steps to the left.
So I'm gonna go back and say, yeah, I think we're in favor of lots of fees.
Lots
of
of
fines.
fees.
Well, you gotta have teeth. It's the biggest problem with
That's
this.
right.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
teeth, everybody looks at you.
Right. Well, especially because making a bylaw takes away DEPs. Not takes away, but
It reduces.
it reduces.
And it changes.
Yes.
Their interaction.
But it keeps it in town.
Yeah.
Where it should be.
If we had non-criminal violation fees,
Mhm.
what would be, if they don't pay them, what are the repercussions of that? Does it become?
Psych it shut down.
Well, it's just like not paying your taxes.
I was gonna say, is it the same?
Yeah.
So there'd be a lien on the property.
You betcha.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then that's
Mhm.
serious. So you better
They,
pay
they,
up.
they,
That's
they want to
serious.
stop
Oh, yeah.
quick. They
Well,
want to
yeah.
correct it
Your
quick.
building permit, you know.
That's what I was wondering about.
Everything gets
is it
yanked
just
and
kind
it
of
down.
That's right.
Mhm.
And by the way, every single permit that they have in town can get yanked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If it's a
So,
multiple
I mean,
project,
there's
you yank
there's
them
plenty
all.
of teeth to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
good.
it's not just
It's
like,
nicely done. Too.
your cell fence is down violation. It's you notify them, they don't respond, or by the deadline, then it starts accumulating.
It's like farm animals.
Like,
in the water.
For example, I'm animals in the wetland.
Oh, sorry.
20 days later.
By the way, do we, back to 175 Cannon for a second, do we know if there's a hydrologic connection between 175 Cannon Road and Muskapog Pond?
Didn't hold. Skip said. Dick said there was.
Because
Yeah, I
it's
know
a
he
Dick
said
said
that,
there
but
was,
we
and
haven't
I think.
mapped tributary.
And I think Holden said there was.
Because the other thing we can do is get the Board of Health after them.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
I said
Yeah,
that last
and you
time.
actually, that did come up at the last
Yeah, I
meeting.
said that last time.
You probably
yeah.
did. That's
We
how
were
much I
thinking
was
about
about.
flipping
I
them
know
in.
exactly because I was his audience.
You wrote it down.
See, you got to be careful though, because we do have one place in town, we had a license that we issued for aquaculture.
Mm-hmm.
And that necessarily has to take place in a wetland.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that's,
Was it?
Yeah, that's
It's
not-
called aquaculture?
yeah,
Sure.
Yeah,
I've
they
never
raise
heard that
fish.
before.
really?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't know that
that's what to me learned tonight.
I haven't
know.
seen them come back to renew, but they used to be down at campgrounds.
Kidding. And it's for the purpose
There
of
was that
raising
one
fish?
pond that they,
Yeah.
it was a man-made pond, and that they raised fish for the
Interesting.
kids to.
I took care of catfish in high school.
I'm
No,
not sure I want
really?
to ask
That
this
explains how
question.
you
Did it
ended
have
up in
hairballs?
this field, Melissa.
No, but I did get the keys to the school during one February break.
And what did you do?
Clean the catfish tank. Very
You
special.
rebel.
Broke in with the janitor.
We are rapidly approaching our 2 hour
Sorry.
time limit.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to ask the question I'm not sure I really want to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you mean by climate resiliency? What sort of things are in there?
So it's kind of also linked with 9. I think I'll have to look at Arlington again because I have no idea what they put in, but apparently I thought it was great.
Okay.
It's more of the adaptation to climate change, so thinking of species that will survive in the future, but also considering rainfall amounts, which ties into the stormwater as well, and ability to basically survive the differences in the future.
Okay.
So you want to stop?
I'll have you
killing
review
things.
that and you can tell us more about it next time.
Yeah, let me look at Arlington's again. It is a very up and coming thing, so there's not really much
It's
to
Arlington.
base it off of except for Arlington, most
That might be
likely.
a little
That'd be interesting.
leery
It's
about
gonna be good
that.
read. It'll be
Yeah.
good reading.
Yeah.
You don't
Well-
want to become the test case.
I think there's some good reading that we can do.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
don't know what else.
And this is something that MACC has discussed a lot more frequently recently too.
Some of it focuses on floodplains too.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. You're right.
You know, that's obviously a bigger issue, I'm sure, in Arlington and like
Yep.
Boston. That's a big deal there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not so much here.
All right. So we'll continue that. I'm not going to say the favorite words of the people next door. Is there any other business before the commission? Hearing none. I'd like a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Delacour, aye.
Langer,
Chinsalucci, aye.
Danza, aye.
Clock eye.
Crane, aye. I will not say nay. Thank you all so very much. We are adjourned.